Hi, hello. Now I am going to teach you about verbal and non-verbal communication. Wait for a while. I will share you the slide. Hope the slides are visible to you. Okay. Verbal and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is about language, both written and spoken. In general, verbal communication refers to our use of words, while non-verbal communication refers to communication that occurs through means other than words such as body language, gestures, and silence. So, first of all, communication. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place to another. There are two types of communication. The one is verbal communication, and another one is non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is perhaps the most obvious and understood mode of communication, and it is certainly a powerful tool in your communication toolbox. Put simply, verbal communication is the sharing of information between two individuals using words. Non-verbal communication, we have already employed a little bit of non-verbal communication with the active listening skills. We have previously discussed it is an facial expression, learning towards a speaker to show interest. All of those are forms of non-verbal communication. Maybe body language can reinforce your spoken message, or it can contradict it entirely. There is a myth that says that when you speak, only 35% of your communication is verbal and 65% of it is non-verbal. Yeah, it may be true. It can be seen inside the class. That's not entirely maybe I can say it is entirely true for some situation, and in some situation it is not entirely true because so much depends on the context and situation. It is, however, absolutely true that non-verbal communication can make or break your message. Verbal communication. Communication with words, written or spoken. Verbal communication consists of speaking, listening, writing, and reading. It includes all the four skills, which it takes place through face-to-face conversation, group discussions, counseling, interviews, etc. The process of exchanging information between two or more persons through written and oral words. Types of verbal communication. The verbal communication include two types, which is oral communication and written communication. There are some advantages in oral communication. It is more personal and informal. It makes immediate impact. It provides opportunity for interaction and feedback. It is very fast and non-expensive. It helps us to foster better relationship with your co-workers and friends. Used to inform, inquire, argue, and discuss topic of all kinds. Disadvantages. A word can uttered is can't be taken back. It can be forgotten easily. There is no legal evidence of oral communication. Non-verbal communication. As as we discussed before, communicating without using any spoken or written word. It is a wordless message. Takes place gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, and touching. It also includes pitch, speed, tone, and volume of voice. Maybe the dress and appearance, etc. There are some advantages, which is helps to communicate with someone who is hard of hearing or deaf. Helps to communicate in silent zones. Help us to communicate with a distant person. Help us to communicate people who don't understand our language. Culturally determined. Captures feelings and emotions. There are some disadvantages. They are cannot be used as a public tool of communication, cannot create an impression about people or listeners, misperception of body language or gestures. There are types of non-verbal communication, which is facial expression, gestures, body language, and posture, and eye contacts. Facial expression. Your your teenage cousin we referred to at the beginning of this section might have told you he was happy, but his apathetical facial expression may be communicated different information. Facial expression may be like happy, sad, angry. Help us convey their message. Be aware of their facial expression when you talk, and particularly when you listen, which is when it is easy to forget. So comes to gesture. When you speak, a gesture can make your message stronger. Pointing out something you want your listener to look at more closely in an example of nonverbal communication that makes your message understood. Motioning warmly towards a co-worker who deserves special recognition, making a fuss to show frustration or anger. Such gestures help further engage your audience when you speak. Body language. How close you are to your audience when you speak sends a non-verbal message. If your size is imposing and you leave a very small distance between you and your listener, it's likely your non-verbal communication will be a bit of threatening. On the other hand, giving someone too much space is an awkward non-verbal communication that might confuse your listener. Eye contact. It is very much important because it make and maintain eye contact with an audience when you are verbally communicating or listening communicates to the other party that you are interested and engaged in the conversation. If the eye contact is very particular, like maintaining an eye contact to the audience, it shows that you are it shows that uh, and full-fledged of confident that you are in that particular lesson. Good eye contact often conveys the trait of honesty to the other party. There are some difference between verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is a form of communication in which you use words to interchange the information with other people, whereas non-verbal communication does not use words for communicating anything, but some other modes are used. Thank you. Thank you for listening.